We're trying to exhibit a trend in building that is a little bit more efficient, and we think is going to be something that starts taking over, especially in larger cities. I think it's a way that people are going to find alternative building fits into their lifestyle, and they'll be able to start living in a smaller footprint and realize they can live with less.
Well, this is a center box, a 200 square foot structure, kind of designed for live, work, play, detached studio, cabin in the woods, man cave, woman cave, office, you know, whatever you would want to use it for. We have a Shosugi burnt wood cladding on the exterior and birch ply finish on the interior. It's all 2x10 construction. R30 insulation throughout. It's powered. We have coax for TV, Cat 5 for internet, so it's ready to go, kind of plug and play.
We went in this and we started with a lot of ideas of what ideally we would like this structure to be and what we'd like it to do, and then as we kept developing the plan further and design further, we got into the reality of how we would construct it, how we would move it, what we're going to build it out of, what our budget would be, and all those things played a really big role in creating what the final design and the final structure actually was. And it really helped out because those limitations helped create, in our minds, a much better design.
This is the first thing that Damon and I have ever built. So it was a pretty awesome learning experience for us. Pat McHugh has kind of given us no excuses to fail. He's been an awesome kind of fearless leader for this. It's been really cool getting to know everybody out here and kind of create a cool community that's been, you know, we've helped each other out here or there, borrowed tools, giving each other beers here and there. It's been awesome. It's been really fun.
We spend so much of our time on a computer, behind a desk, drawing things and seeing it in that kind of abstraction, and then having a builder, someone who's in the field figuring it out, to have us actually figure out what's going on and how it's working and what that actually really means of how you get something built. And it was an amazing experience. We learned a ton. We had a lot of fun and a lot of frustration along the way, but we always powered through and overcame all the hurdles, and that's the result. So we're definitely glad. We're definitely, I think, better designers as a result. And just, even if you weren't a designer and you decided to do this, I think it's a really fun, amazing process.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Everybody here is great. During the construction of the buildings, Pat was making pizza down at the end there and bringing it around to people. People were helping out. Somebody popped a breaker. Everybody was jumping, trying to get it fixed. And if somebody needed an extension cord, there were people lending them. So it's been a great experience. I'm a general contractor and I build houses, mostly intermediate size to these micro-dwellings. It's made out of the expandable polystyrene. The whole structure is glued together using large panels, and then we use a structural cement material to coat those panels to make them structural units. So basically what you have is a conglomerate of panels glued together to make somewhat of a concrete structure when it's finished. It's suited for these, for the hot climate. The stucco finish just lends itself to go over our structural coating, and the insulation value of these units is just incredible. I built a house a little under 3,000 square feet some years ago and lived in it for 3.5 years. My highest electric bill was $220 one month in the summer.
Well, no matter how much you try to prepare beforehand, building is always, it's improvisational. There's always something that isn't quite what you thought it would be. So you have to be prepared to make changes all the time. And I had a team of my neighborhood handy guys helping me, all of them having varied amounts of experience in building. So everyone has an opinion. So you have to also have a certain amount of flexibility because you want everyone to be happy, but you'd also like to have your building built the way that you designed it. So it's an experience. It's an experience. Building is experiential. It's not something that you can think about. You have to simply do it.
Pat came to me and asked me, would you like to build a dwelling? And I hemmed and hawed a little bit, and I'm really happy I did. And so what we ended up with was a dwelling that completely sustainable, meaning no part is consumed if you move it. Everything's reusable, so it's reconfigurable. It's made out of wall panels. Each wall panel has a specific dimension to it and can be reconnected to any of the other wall panels. So it's very fast and efficient to put together and so forth. We went from dirt to what we have here in 15 hours for 3 men. So it was very, very efficient, very quick on our build process. But the prep work, there was a ton of prep work. I estimated at probably upwards of 1,500 hours, something like that, what we have, including myself and Michelle and all of our volunteers that had helped us out. But it paid off. I mean, we can literally take it down and redo it, and we could probably beat that time because we were able to get past a bunch of issues that we didn't foresee in the past. So, and we've actually been discussing next year. I got to make sure it's okay with the boss because it did, my wife, because it did take a tremendous amount of time. And
it takes longer than you think.
Yeah, I probably personally have upwards of 500 hours in it, just me, because I did all the welding and then the design and then the tear it apart when I screwed it up and then put it back together, and so it was a process, to say the least.
It's been kind of a nice event to have an opening, celebrate some Arizona wines, some other displays of lightweight concrete, some solar cooking, some demonstrations on alternative power. Today we're featuring some vintage trailers that are on display from the Sisters on the Fly, and they brought down some pre-74 trailers for people to look at. So we're trying to marry a few different events together and get the crowds out and let them experience what MicroDwell is all about and see how some of these other events tie in with it. And it's been a good turnout. People really seem to be catching on to what this movement's about and how they might live in a cheaper fashion, use less carbon, and downsize some of their lives and have a better priority on what they need.